All right, DStyleBoxing here. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that will be joining me on archive, 11 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday. Live Q&A, open forum. Tell me what you think. All right. Anyway, make sure you write that down on your calendars for those that follow my channel. Let's go ahead and talk a couple stuff here. Now, first, the chat is open, right? That's number one. I'll pop it up in a moment. Also, watching archive, leave a comment and tell me what you think. While you're listening to this, feel free to put in questions, which I will, or statements that I will address on the following week, right? We'll go ahead and get that addressed the following week, right? So every Thursday, I'll be doing these live Q&As. All right. Also, thumbs up the video. Support the channel. All right. Make sure you thumbs up that video. All right. Now, really quick. Really quick. Right. Been busy, so I haven't been able to come on here and do these videos lately the last couple days. But here I am. I think I just missed one day. But anyway. I've been hearing the rumblings, though. I've been hearing the rumblings that, or the rumors, the word on the street, that Floyd Mayweather Jr. will be making a, what is this, like some type of comeback of some sort? Something like that? That Floyd Mayweather Jr. will be coming back? Well, no, nobody's really said that, but the only indication that's out there, and the reason people are talking, they could say it was by design, not by design. Maybe it just is what it is. Maybe there's more to it. But Floyd Mayweather Jr. apparently is working out, right? And now, is it totally possible that he could just be working out, just keeping himself in shape? Is that possible? Of course it's possible, okay? That's definitely possible. He's just keeping himself in shape. That is a very good possibility. May very well even be the most likely scenario, right? However, this is the however. Floyd Mayweather Jr. does like money, right? He does like money, and why not get more of it, right? And if he fights again, he will get at the very least $100 million, if not more. Okay, you got to understand the amount of money he can make. On top of that, he also believes himself to be TBE. All right, so if he wants to be TBE, the more accomplishments he makes, the better. Now, maybe he believes he's TBE because he's made the most money in history and he's good with that. That's possible. And I really don't think there's much you could do to be TBE at this point. But perception is everything. And if Floyd Mayweather Jr. could accomplish one more thing, if he could do one more thing, being capturing the middleweight championship of the world, right? If he were to capture the I guess it would be the WBC, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever belt it is, whatever trinket it is, if he could capture a middleweight championship, right? That means he would have claimed titles at 130, 135, 140, 147, 154, and 160, right? Which would be very impressive, So, that's why not? Now, while I do know, and you've heard me come on here and talk about this, and I still stand by it. The titles today are inflated. We have way too many weight classes. We have too much of that. So I'm on board with that 100%. Okay, I really am, right? I'm on board with there being way too many belts, way too many divisions today. But nonetheless, perception is everything. And it's still an accomplishment, regardless. An accomplishment that needs perspective, but an accomplishment nonetheless. All right. So who would he fight? As I look at the middleweight division, I don't really see a bunch of fighters that can give Floyd Mayweather Jr. a lot of problems. I just don't. I don't. You know, I think he beats Gennady Golovkin. I think he beats Canelo again if they were to fight. And then who else is there? I mean, he's not going to fight any of the very big middleweights. If we're honest, he's not. Right? He's going to fight somebody that's quote unquote worth the risk. Okay, and worth the reward. A Gennady Golovkin fight versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. would make a lot of money. All right. I think it does over $2 million easy. All right. So, and that's just right out of the gate. We still have to see how the media would talk about it and how it would be perceived by people. We still have to see that. Right. But at the very least, it would do very good money. And it's obviously a big risk, but he could come away with that middleweight title. We'll see how it goes. I am personally leaning towards he's not going to come back. Okay, I think there's no way I could really put a percentage on it. But if I were, and I'm going to do it now, I would say there's about a 10% chance right now that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is coming back. Right? He's just working out in the gym. All right. Now that's a little higher than I had it before I heard this news. By maybe 5%, but it's not much. Okay, it's just not much. And we start hearing rumors, you know, and rumblings, and then maybe that percentage will go up. But as of right now, I think it's highly likely Floyd Mayweather Jr. stays retired. I think that's just highly likely, and that is that. Okay, I'm not expecting Floyd Mayweather Jr. to come back at any time soon. All right, I'm just not expecting. All right, let's see if I could pull some stuff up here really quick. I see a Rascalot222 in the chat. Whoever's watching, make sure you can ask questions in the chat. I did have one question from the last, or one statement anyway, from the last Q&A, which I'll address in a moment. Rascalot222 says real fans want him to stay retired. We don't need any more boring fights. We have Lara for that. Okay. I take that you're not a big fan of Lara. Speaking of Lara, what a terrible performance. That was an atrocious performance by Erislandy Lara. All right. Great knockout by Charlo, though. But Erislandy Lara, man, he needs a little more output. Lara does. He needs to get a little more aggressive, especially against lower opposition. All right. He needs to take some dudes out. He needs to take them out sooner. Those are my thoughts on that. But overall, I don't know who quote-unquote real fans are, Rascalot, but I think casuals in general wouldn't mind another event. People like events, and the Mayweather fight's an event. So Hulk Hogan says, I bet Mayweather comes back for lineal title versus Canelo. It could happen. It could happen. I mean, it's somebody's fought before. Somebody kind of understands. He's not a very, height-wise. Canelo is kind of there with Floyd, so he could. It's a fight that could be done. It's a fight that could be done. Good call, Hulk Hogan. All right. Hulk Hogan says, I think he would beat GGG and Canelo. Hopefully, you don't mean on the same night, but I agree. He could beat them on separate occasions, but he could beat them. I wouldn't mind a Canelo rematch at 160. I would not mind it. I think Canelo puts up a much better fight. I think, but I think ultimately Mayweather wins. But I think it's a better fight than their first fight. That's my opinion. But overall, though, I don't mind Mayweather staying retired, and not for the reasons Rascalot is stating. But I think it's time for boxing to move on. Right. The more Mayweather keeps coming back, and the comeback of Mayweather looms and is lurking, the more it kind of holds the sport hostage. I want to see these guys get active. I want to see these guys fight more. I just want to see more of that. So I don't know. I think Mayweather needs to retire. That way the sport is forced to grow without him. And when the sport has its back against the wall, the sport performs at its best. I'm a firm believer in that. So for what it's worth. Anyway, all right. Hulk Hogan says, I don't like Mayweather, but he's not boring. Well, you know, he's I don't agree that he's boring either. So I enjoy watching Mayweather or watched him fight. My opinion, and I know you were responding to Rasplot222, but my opinion about Mayweather is not returning, has nothing to do with me being a fan of his or not, or liking the way he fights. I just think that it's time for the sport to move on. Mayweather had his time. I think that time has come and gone, and I think it's time for the sport to move on. All right? I'm tired of hearing the question, who's the next star? Who's the next star? Who's going to carry boxing now that Mayweather's gone? Huh? Who's going to do it? If Mayweather keeps coming back, it's just postponing all that. Right? So I think it's time for the sport to perform now. And it's time for the sport, with its back against the wall, to start putting on consistent fights. I don't want this to be an event-driven sport. I want it to be a sport. I want it to be respected. I want to see consistency will do that. We need more consistent fights. And sometimes things look grim. Sometimes they look great. It's been a roller coaster year, but I just think it's time for the sport to move on. To be honest, I want Manny Pacquiao to retire too. Right? I think Manny's got to go too. It's time to move on. Right? It's just time to move on, man. It's time to move on. Let me address this statement. Last week I was talking about or the chat anyway was talking about which sport is more exciting, MMA or boxing, right? This was on my last Q&A that I did, okay, last Thursday. In that Q&A, I was talking about the McGregor Paulie Malignaggi talks, and I told everybody, hey, these talks are real, okay? This is not just some, it's Paul Heyman has contacted Dana White, and there is, I don't know how deep the negotiations are. I don't know if there's been any negotiations, but there has been talks. So, and there's money involved. So this could happen. Especially looking at, for those that don't know, Ferguson versus Lee is being said to less than 150,000 buys. Not what the UFC was expecting. With the amount of money they bathed that event in to promote it. Having Fox Sports 1 and previous pay-per-views before that help market it, as well as the large social media platform, along with their app and all that, and it just did 150,000 buys, Lee versus Ferguson, right? So there's not much of an incentive for Conor McGregor to take that big risk against a Tony Ferguson, who's now the lightweight champion or interim lightweight champion, or is he official now? I don't know. But you got to put that in perspective, right? But we'll talk about that in a moment. But let me address this question really quick. This one last live Q&A. Al Heyman reached out to Dana White for Malignaggi versus McGregor. That was last Thursday. And have the following comment. As I said, I'll be going over the comments every week. So you're watching this on archive, leave a comment, and we'll go ahead and address your question the following week, okay? This is from Rick Sanchez. I think why people say MMA is more exciting is because the defense in most fights is poor, that it allows for stand-up fighters to get hit more often. Because of multiple disciplines, it sometimes creates a mismatch and someone gets exposed. Although there are mismatches in boxing, the ideal fight for hardcore boxing fans would be the one of strategy and subtle nuances that may not be apparent to casual fans. Casual fans would rather see Tyson knock someone out in a round than watch a great fight, work the body, and then a great fighter work the body and then get a late stoppage. Well, I think it all comes down to opinion. I'm not sure if that's, but I just thought this was a great comment that was left from my last video. Look, let's address it piece by piece. So MMA is more exciting because defense is poor and allows for stand-up fighters to get hit more often, right? Now keep in mind, the stand-up in MMA is far different than the stand-up of boxing, right? Not only is there also a ground game in MMA, I mean, that is true. There's also stand-up in MMA, but it's far more than just that, guys. It's not just that there's a um, it's the stand-up. Forget the ground game. Forget the takedowns. The stand-up in itself is far different than boxing. All right, it's far different. One, because of the possibility of a takedown. That's number one, right? Remember, so now, granted, I don't think in just pure boxing, I do believe because they do it more, boxers overall are better at slipping punches, dodging punches, right, rolling with shots. Um, they're better at fist fighting than MMA fighters because that's what boxers do. That's what they specialize in. They're specialists at that overall, right? It makes sense. A lot of these boxers grew up doing this. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense. But it's not just that. So I think what a lot of boxing fans, and I think this happens a lot, is remember, right? These MMA fighters, okay, are looking out for many things. Like someone shooting at them to get a takedown. So their stance has to be different. Their stance isn't very pro striking as it is in boxing, right? Because they're looking at other things that are coming their way, like leg kicks, like takedowns, right? So when you're defending against a lot of things, yes, you're going to get hit easier, all right? So let's not judge MMA fighters by what we see, okay, when they strike, because let's be honest, they're anticipating a lot more things, all right? That's just a reality, okay? On top of the fact that when it comes to straight up fist fighting, boxers are just better at it because they're specialists at that, right? Now, is that why it's more? Look, not every like even if you think boxing is more exciting than MMA, come on, you can't tell me every boxing fight is better than every MMA fight, and the same vice versa. If you think MMA is better than boxing, you can't tell me every MMA fight is better than a very good boxing fight, right? So nonetheless, no matter where you stand, I believe if you're a combat sports fan, you can really enjoy both, right? Now, yes, there are some boxing purists that just hate MMA and won't watch it, and that's fine. You're entitled to watch whatever you want. Don't get me wrong, okay? And there's some MMA guys that just don't like watching boxing, which I personally don't get, since it's part of MMA in all reality. But whatever, okay, they don't like it, right? But I think in most cases, well, while that is possible, I honestly believe that in most cases, right, it's just a rivalry thing, right? Like they just refuse to acknowledge the other because they feel like the other one is a threat or it's a rival, right? It's okay. You can like both. That's all I got to say about that, right? And yes, I will agree with this statement, okay? And the statement is the following. Talking about it's hard to see the nuances in boxing because they're not as obvious, okay? And they're not. The nuances are not as obvious, right, in boxing as they are in MMA. MMA does have nuances, but they have a lot of things that can really make you tell, like someone's inadequate at something, right? So in boxing, when a boxer is not good at cutting off the ring, right, people don't really understand the concept of that, okay? They don't understand that. So they'll start bashing the guy that is on the back foot, saying he's running and stuff like that, okay? Not to say that there's not fighters that avoid engagement, but you have to understand the nuances of boxing to know what's going on. You have to understand that, right? But in MMA, when someone does not have a ground game, like like he gets taken down and he starts getting slaughtered in the ground, right? When someone's not good at defending kicks, like you could tell, right? When someone's not good with their hands, you could just tell, right? When someone's not good at wrestling, you can tell. You know, it's very obvious, and I think a lot of casual fans can can tell. Like, it's easier to kind of understand MMA, in my opinion, than boxing, because boxing takes a lot of intricacies to understand, and MMA has a lot of intricacies too, but you don't have to understand them in most cases. Like you will, like in a Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia fight, you do, right? You have to understand why that fight ended up the way it did, but those are just far and few between. AJ10, Mayweather needs to sit his ass down. Well, there you go. That's AJ10. Hulk Hogan, do you think Conor has a chance against Paulina's bitch ass? I'll answer that in a moment. Let's see your other comments. Pacquiao as well. He's responding to AJ10. He needs to sit his ass down. Both guys agree with me there. Hulk Hogan says they don't need to prove anything. Yeah, Pacquiao Mayweather, it's time to go. I want the sport to move on. Like it's time to move on, man. They had the time. The time is gone. Let's let some of these young guns give them the torch. It's time to move on. Okay, that's just. I'll leave it at that. By the way, those in the chat, feel free to ask questions, and I will go ahead and address them. All right. Do I think Conor has a chance against Paulie Malignaggi? Look, the more and more I think about this fight, you got to look at a lot of factors here, okay? A lot of factors. So factor number one, and by the way, I'm going to share the screen here really quick, guys. So let me get this. There we go. Right. So Hulk Hogan asked, do you think Conor has a chance against Paulina's bitch ass? So that's Paulie Malignaggi, for those that are wondering who the hell is he talking about. All right. So, like, here's my thing, and I touched on this last week, so I don't want to touch too much on it here. But first of all, like, here's just the reality. So number one, Conor's in his prime, right? Paulie Malignaggi is not. That's number one. Number two, Conor is just a physically bigger man than Paulie Malignaggi, okay? Not just taller, he's just physically bigger, okay? His walk-around weight is just bigger, right? He's just a bigger man. With those things said, of course, Paulie Malignaggi is way past his prime. We know that, right? And also, they have history together. And we do have footage, even though we don't have the full footage. I would like to see the full footage, okay? I would like to see that. But we do have footage of Conor landing some shots on Paulie, right? So this fight is a good sell, right? This fight is a good sell. They can sell this fight, right? Yes, Paulie's the one with the experience. Yes, Paulie's the boxer. On paper, to be honest with you, Paulie should win. But when you factor in the size, the weight, the youth of Conor McGregor, right? And the fact that Paulie's past it, the fact that Paulie has no punching power. Paulie has no punching power, right? That's just the reality. Paulie Malignaggi has no punching power, okay? And when you factor those things in, it's really hard to tell who's going to win. I don't know who wins that fight, to be honest with you. I don't know. Okay? With the right game plan, yes, Paulie Malignaggi could beat him. Okay? But can Conor beat Paulie Malignaggi? Is it possible? Yeah. Right? I think it's possible. And I think that's what makes the matchup intriguing. That's what makes it intriguing. And here's another factor. Conor's not going to go down to 147 to fight Paulie. Paulie's going to have to go to either 154, maybe even higher than that. Conor didn't look that good at the weigh-in against Mayweather. He didn't look that good at the at all. So it may even be a catch weight above 154, which is going to favor Conor. I mean, it's just like, let me put it in perspective for you. If Paulie Malignaggi moved up to 154 right now, he'd get slaughtered. Like in under 2-3 rounds, a lot of these top 154 pounders would slaughter him. And you don't even have to go to 154. You don't even have to go that high. Right now, if Paulie got in shape right now and jumped in the ring at 147 against any top boxer, he'd get destroyed. Like, just try to imagine what Errol Spence would do to Paulie Malignaggi right now. He would slaughter him, all right? It would be embarrassing for Paulie. So when you take that Paulie, and he's going to have to fight a weight he's never fought in at Conor's natural weight. Conor's a naturally bigger man. It makes it interesting, all right? It does. It makes it interesting. This fight, I've been telling people forever, this fight will sell. And if you think it sells now, just wait. If the fight gets signed, first of all, it's going to be reported everywhere in the media because it's a McGregor fight. There's a history behind the fight, okay? And look, it's going to be good press and bad press, no doubt about it. A lot of UFC fans are going to be angry and not happy because they're going to see it as him avoiding Tony Ferguson, right? And then you're going to have a lot of, other fans that just aren't going to care, but or say it's a stupid fight. Who wants to see or watch the fighter, fight a, Conor McGregor? He's wasting his time. But at the end of the day, it's going to get publicity. And not only that, Paulie is going to go around the world. He's going to do interviews. Conor's going to do interviews, and just wait till the press conferences. Say what you want about Paulie Malignaggi. He can talk, right? Paulie can talk. Paulie Malignaggi can talk. Look up Paulie Malignaggi, okay, Adrian Broner press conference, right? He went in on Adrian Broner. Aside from the whole jealous Jessica thing, aside from that, he did pretty good, right? He can sell a fight. So once those press conferences get through, man, it's going to be something. And then of course, you add the boxing versus MMA element. That's going to help sell it too, right? The McGregor fans are going to be on board, right? And boxing fans, I don't care what they say, just like in the Mayweather fight, they're going to end up buying it, right? Like always. So the fight will sell. And not like the Mayweather fight, I really don't know who would win. I know there's a lot of guys saying, McGregor will win for sure. I don't think there's any for sure for any guy. I just don't. I honestly think it's a toss-up. All right? That's just what I think. AJ10 has Conor McGregor in that fight, believe it or not. There's no reason not to believe it. Hulk Hogan, Conor should get a boxing coach like Floyd Sr. or Robert Garcia. Well, interesting enough, they don't want that. They don't want to break what they got, and they want to bring the element of surprise and blah, 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 right? It's they want to be different in the boxing ring. That's what makes them unique in the boxing ring, blah, 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 right? That's what it is. I don't know if Robert Garcia would be the right fit or a senior, but is there a boxing trainer out there that would improve Conor if he only focused on boxing? Sure. But I honestly think if Conor ever boxes again, it will be against Paulie Malignaggi, and then he's done. Okay? That's if he boxes again. So he's not going to fight a top 154-pounder, right? He's not. So Paulie's the only guy I see that he can possibly fight, right? AJ10 thinks Conor McGregor wins by split decision. Not only that, guys, I honestly think it would be an exciting fight. I honestly think it would be a good fight. Both guys will be talking trash while they're fighting, and when they land punches, they're going to be like bragging about it. It'll be a very, very interesting matchup. Just got to say that. All right? I see Paulie coming with the Juan Baby Bull Diaz physique. Well, I don't know now, man. No, man. Paulie is just not going to get as great a shape as even those days, okay? So, I just don't see it. Hulk Hogan, I hope not the Cena match. What? I don't know what that means. John Cena versus Conor McGregor or what? Oh, okay, I missed it. Red Fox, but he's going to fight John Cena. Cena versus McGregor would sell a crazy amount of pay-per-view for WrestleMania, but where do they go from there? I mean, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if they want to do that. I don't know if that's the thing to do, to be honest. So hopefully they don't do that. I really don't want Conor McGregor to go to I don't want to see Conor go to the WWE, man. Like, don't do it. Just don't. Right? Mayweather did it back in the day, but I mean, technically speaking, Mayweather was retired. Technically speaking, okay. So, for what it's worth. Toss Stone Cold coming, and giving both a stunner. Stone Cold Steve Austin giving both Conor McGregor and and John Cena a stunner. Can Conor even do a bump in wrestling? I mean, how would that work? Menegatio says WWE sucks monkey, blah, blah. There you go. I agree. The WWE is not very good at all. I agree. Hulk Hogan wants to see a Diaz fight then, Paulie. Doesn't look like that Diaz fight is happening. And it's not in the moment. We're already towards the end of October. We're nearing the end of October. And it was rumored that Conor was going to fight in December of this year. Remember they were saying, oh, yeah, Conor was saying, yeah, I'm going to fight again by the end of the year. Right? He fought Mayweather in August. All right? We are on, this is the 19th of October. Tomorrow's the 20th. In a couple hours, we're in the 20th. Tomorrow is a Friday. If nothing is announced tomorrow on Friday, we're going to go the whole weekend, all next week, all right, for sure. So we could end up going all the way to the 27th, and there's still no McGregor fight announced. I mean, I really don't see him fighting in December in this year, so 2018. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Hulk Hogan saying, good WWE breakdown, by the way. I agree. It's trash. I did do a WWE video. You guys should check that out in case you haven't. Okay, mark it down. AJ10 says, I can see Conor fighting maybe around April. He is spending that money, taking his time. Well, he has, in fact, been going, and look, of course, he deserves to do all that, but I'm going by what he was saying. He was saying that he was going to fight again by the end of the year. He's not, right? They did come out and say they want to do a Diaz fight. They haven't done it yet. A Diaz fight is by far the fight that's going to sell. Like, here's the thing. Something that's looking good for Nate Diaz. And I mentioned earlier, but Lee Ferguson is said to have done about 150,000 buys. With the amount of promotion, the brand name of the UFC and FS1 behind it, you would think it would have done more. Right? You would think it would have done more. So Conor could easily make the argument that Lee doesn't bring enough, Ferguson doesn't bring enough money. You know, he could just make that argument, and then, but for Nate Diaz, it does increase his chances, right, of getting that Conor McGregor fight, because Conor McGregor is not selling. Now, how about this, though? What about Nate Diaz versus Ferguson? How much would that fight sell? Now, the only problem with that is, let's say Diaz fights Ferguson, and let's say it does like 200,000. He can't justify the 20 million he's requesting, right? The risk here, he has to sell at least over 500,000 buys or something against Ferguson, and not only that, win the fight. So it's not likely that he takes that risk. They'll have to pay Diaz a good amount of money to take that risk against Ferguson. So the WWE, in case you can't tell, is little by little, it's turning more into a business. And and it's looking a lot more like boxing, little by little, right? AJ10 just said it. UFC is becoming more like boxing, and I agree. Hulk Hogan before that said, hopefully he's in shape, not like Maidana. Well, he's not looking out of shape, but he's definitely partying a lot, right? And McGregor is a drinker. At least he was drinking whiskey on fight night. So, and I seen him drink. I seen him get drunk at bars. So that's not a good combination. Hopefully there's no drugs being mixed into that, because that could be an end of a career. Look at what happened to Tyson Fury after he won the heavyweight championship of the world. Okay? So that's going to be dangerous, for Conor. AJ10 follows up. UFC is more about big events than the best fighting the best. Yes, it's looking more and more like boxing, that's for sure. Red Fox, Maidana got fat as F. Yes, he did. Maidana got way out of shape. Maidana got way too big. Way too big, Maidana got. I mean, holy shit. Red Fox says those paydays from Floyd, the Floyd fights, got spent on fast food. Wow. It's a lot of fast food, man. How many Big Macs can you spend with those $5 million? I think he got $1.5 million alone out of the fact that he had to wear the lock gloves and not the MX gloves. Just out of that alone, he got $1.5 million. AJ10, homemade Argentinian cooking, bro. Well, there you go. Good old-fashioned cook. There must have been a lot of calories in that food, though. I'll just say that. All right. If you guys got any questions in the chat, put it on there. You're watching archive. Leave a comment. I will address it in the next week's Q&A every Thursday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. Mark it down. So what do they have in Argentinian home-cooked meals, brother? Because that guy got big, man. I mean, I heard that Maidana is trying to become the first. He's trying to be a two-sport athlete. Like he did boxing, became a world champion there, right? And now Maidana, he wants to take over the world of sumo, right? Become a world champion in sumo, right? And a world champion in boxing. How about that? Hulk Hogan. What about Conor versus Khan? Khan? Well, first of all, there's no doubt in my mind that Khan could beat the shit out of Conor, right? There's no doubt in my mind. He will while they're both standing, he will box the shit out of Conor. The only thing with Khan is his chin, right? Now, I don't think Conor hits that hard, at least not for a boxer, but it is Khan, all right? It is Khan, but all bullshit aside, I agree with Fox. Khan beats Conor silly. If you think, look, Khan has a blistering hand speed, has faster hands than Floyd, so doesn't have the timing of Floyd, isn't as good as Floyd, but his hands are a lot faster. I don't think Conor will know what the hell to do, right? Still the dream matchup, Ortiz versus Khan. Yes, let's get that fight done. Where's Ortiz anyway, man? What's up with that guy? Ortiz fighting Lopez, Josecito Lopez, is he? Or another Lopez? Maybe he could avenge that loss. Khan has heart over Ortiz. Yes, he does. Ortiz has... this is the question. Ortiz can crack. And if he lands flush on Khan, he could hurt him, right? The question is, what cracks first? Khan's chin or Ortiz's heart? Ortiz's will or Khan's chin? Let's do it. It's like, for those that remember Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura talking about the immovable object meets the, or the unstoppable force meets the immovable object, right? What's the opposite? It's the stoppable force meets the movable object, right? Which one wins? Let's do it. Mejia says Ortiz TBE. Yeah, bro, I'm ready to fight, bro. I mean, everybody says, that I'm a quitter, but I'm like, well, in my last fight, I didn't quit. So how am I a quitter, bro? Oh, man. Everybody says that I'm a quitter. I mean, they want to spend 1 second doing what I do, bro. So whatever, bro. AJ says Ortiz will quit and Khan is taking a knee. Wow. Could you imagine like they both land a big shot on each other? Boom! Right? They land right in the jaw. Khan drops. Like, boom. Ortiz falls to a knee or something against the ropes. Ortiz is facing the crowd and he's making that decision. Do I quit? Do I quit? Do I quit? Now Khan's out and the rest counting 1, 2. But Ortiz doesn't see that. And then Ortiz starts shaking his head that he doesn't want to continue when the ref says 9. So who wins? Like if you quit before the ref says 10, maybe we'd find out. Anyway. That has ever happened. A fighter quits and the guy's getting counted out? I don't think so, bro. I don't think that can happen, really. But maybe it will in this fight. A technical draw. Yeah. Rios might fight Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's going to fight Brandon Rios, bro. Really? Really, Danny? Well, what happened to Danny Garcia versus Porter happening? I thought that was a great fight. Red Fox puts Ortiz gonna say I'm not going to take a beating like this. Wow. It's going to be Rocket 2 again. Trying to get up and beat the count. Oh, man. Ortiz, man. What can he do with this guy? What's going on with this guy, Ortiz, man? What's going on with Ortiz, man? Right? Any questions, guys? Shoot me some questions. By the way, those watching archive, leave a comment. I will address your question or statement next week on Thursday's Q&A next week. That's the one on the 26th. All right? I might do a video about it rather than just do it on the Q&A, but you'll know either it's a video or a Q&A regarding any questions or statements put in a comment section for those watching archive. All right. Mejia put, well, before that, let me not skip anybody. Hulk Hogan says, are you doing any live scoring anymore? Those were great videos. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. For those that don't know, you could always go back and watch some live scoring that I did in some fights. All right. You can check those out, but I'm not sure because YouTube is acting kind of funny. All right. So YouTube, they're just weird about it, man. I use existing videos on YouTube. I provide commentary about it. Yet, for whatever reason, they still flag me, man. So I don't want to get flagged. You know what I mean? So I hope to start doing them again, but as of right now, I just have the ones that are there. So what are you going to do? All right? I got to come up with some way to do it. Maybe send a link, and then people can watch it and hear my commentary. I really don't know, but hey. I'm thinking of going maybe just coming on here, giving the link, and you can go to Daily Motion and watch them there. Like I'll figure something out, but hey. AJ10, I remember the Victor Ortiz hype. So do I. Victor Ortiz was highly hyped For those that don't know, Marco Maidana was just supposed to be an opponent for Victor Ortiz, to pump up Victor Ortiz. Nobody told that to Maidana, though. Maidana did not get the memo. Right? They did not get the memo. Maidana showed up, and Ortiz was pummeling him early, even dropped him, and was getting the best of him. But Maidana, the will, okay, just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. He just broke Victor Ortiz, snatched his heart right out of his chest, stomped on it, got his soul, right? Maidana took Victor Ortiz's soul from him, right? And he's had it ever since. Ortiz never got it back. All right, now back to Mejia. Rios versus Garcia's trash, but what's sad, that fight would have been good around the time Rios fought Alvarado. Yeah, that would have been a great fight then. I agree. That would have been a good fight at the time, yeah, for sure. AJ10, before the Maidana fight, and he's referring, of course, to remember the Victor Ortiz hype, which I just addressed. So there you go. Hulk Hogan, Google ruined YouTube. I have no comment. But I do miss the old YouTube, though, no doubt about it. I will say I like this. I like being able to come on live and stuff like that. But I just wish, man, that they were more lenient with stuff. But hey, agree with even YouTube inbox. You can't be notified when you get a message. You don't get any notifications. I have to go and check it out for myself to see if a message came in. So good point, Red Fox. Red Fox, I deleted my Google account recently. Well, I can't because I do these Hangouts, but I don't use it for other than coming on YouTube here. So, but hey, Pac would have lit him up. Maidana versus Pacman would have been a nice fight. It would have. It would have. I agree. Red Fox says Pac would have lit him up. Depends when. For most of the careers, he would have. I agree Pacquiao beats him, but it would have been interesting. Age of 10. Who would win, Bradley versus Cotto, matchup at 147? Oh, what points of their career? What points of their career? And this is the Cotto after the Margarito beatdown with a plaster. I got Bradley. Anything before that, I got Cotto, right? At 147. Red Fox, he's made for Pac. Well, he's tailor-made from however he is tough, man, and he could crack. So it would be interesting. Grape Jack says, not really. Maidana is wild and doesn't get discouraged. No, he does not. That's part of the reason I think it would be a good fight. Red Fox has Bradley. Red Fox says to Grape Giant 66, exactly, he's Wilder. Perfect to counter up. Well, he's not Wilder, by the way. Before the rumors start that, oh my God, Pacquiao's Wilder in disguise, which is not possible. Wilder's only like 5 feet taller than Pacquiao, but nonetheless, he's wilder as far as wild. He's a very wild fighter. Perfect counter opportunities for Pac, says Fox, and he meant wild, by the way. He's wild, right? Hulk Hogan, Maidana versus Lucas Matisse. They should have done that fight, man. They should have done it in the stadium in Argentina. It would have been big. It would have been a war. It would have been awesome. Right? I actually think Lucas Matisse wins, but I think it would have been a war, man. That fight would have been beautiful. And it should have been the stadium in Argentina. Red Fox is Wilder went to the Philippines and switched bodies. How is that even possible? Is he like that little girl from Game of Thrones, the faces? That's what it is. Wilder just confused the F out of the word wild. Well, there you go. Grab drink 666. Lucas went MIS and he took the L to Postal. I think he fought recently, actually. But, yeah, he'll be back, though. He'll be back. AJ 10, I got that fight being a classic. I agree. It would have been a war. It would have been great. Fox says, but I got Matisse over Maidana. I agree. But overall, I think any guy could win. I think it would have been a war. Matisse versus Maidana would have been Argentina's version of like Barrera Morales. Now, I don't think they're as good fighters, but nonetheless, it would have been that. We might have gotten a trilogy out of it. It would have made a lot of fans in Argentina of boxing. So we missed out, man. Boxing missed out for sure. I recently beat Emmanuel Taylor, and that's talking about Grape Trank. And yes, Matisse, that's who he beat. I couldn't remember the name, but yes, Emmanuel Taylor. He knocked him out. Yes, he did, Red Fox. So hopefully it's a comeback for him, and we'll see where he goes, man. But yeah, boxing missed the boat with Matisse versus Maidana. He's only got to kill Taylor, who fought Broner and Orozco. No one else ever knocked out Emmanuel Taylor? Well, there we go. Well, there you go. How much did Emmanuel Taylor have left? How much did he prepare for that fight? Things we don't know, but hey. Gorguruga Bermain Severn said yesterday that he only threw about 60 punches in 3 sparring sessions with Joyce because he knew the affiliations was holding back. Wait, what? Bermain Severn said yesterday he only threw about 60 punches in 3 sparring sessions with Joyce because he knew the affiliations was holding back. Can you elaborate, bro, a little bit? I'm not sure what you mean. Am I missing something? But at the surface, throwing 60 punches in 3 sparring sessions is kind of weak, you know, but by the way, is Severn Wilder signed? Is that fight? Because I was hearing that it's not signed yet and all this bullshit. Is it signed? Anybody know? Game Track doesn't know what Gorguruga means either. I think we're all confused, bro. Red Fox says not sure about my question. It looks to me like it's still on, but it's trouble to hear things like he hasn't signed yet. I'm like, what? You kidding me? AJ doesn't know if it's signed. Like, nobody knows? What the hell? Let's see. Severn didn't put 100% against Joyce because Joyce is promoted by Hay, and he also heard that Joyce was sparring Brazil same time it was sparring Severn. So Severn, in other words, Severn was taking it easy on Joyce. And for some reason, being promoted by Hay is a reason why. And because he also has to do some work with Brazil. Right? Says, yep, Severn versus Wilder is signed now, says Gorguruga. Okay, Bermain confirmed yesterday in an interview with BWTN. Well, if it's signed, it's signed, so we don't get any last second. Oh, by the way, the fight wasn't signed, so that's good. But I don't know if I think Bermain Severn needs to get some real sparring partners, and he needs to actually spar, not just take it easy. If he's actually serious about that. Great Giant says, what's the least amount of money you would fight Wilder for, DStyle? The least amount of money? How many rounds? What are the conditions exactly? Am I required to last so long? Am I required to at least take a punch? What are the conditions? You got to lay down the conditions. I'm asking. Did you just hear what I asked? For those that missed it, how many rounds? Like if I'm going to make it past the first round, right? I don't think it matters how long they schedule this fight. But anyway. Do I have to last 10 seconds? What's the rule here? Not sure. Grave Drag 666 says you can't throw the fight. You actually have to try. Well, well, there you go. Red Fox not taking on a boxer in the boxing match. LOL. Especially a heavyweight one at that. Yeah, bro. I am. DStyle is 5'10" and a half. All right. I have to say and a half because I want to add as much to my height as possible. So I'm 5'10" and a half. Okay. Just shy of a 5'11", and I am, right now, like I'm not in the best shape at all. So, but I'm standing at 192 pounds right now. Okay, so and if I were getting shape, like if I were to train to box anybody, I mean, I would drop easily 15, 20 pounds. All right, so I don't think I belong anywhere in the ring with Deontay Wilder. All right, so but how much would they have to give me? And I have to try at least 50,000, at least. Okay, I'll do it for 50,000. I wouldn't even bother paying a trainer. I wouldn't bother paying anybody. It's all gonna be mine. No cuts. Ain't nobody gonna train me to be Wilder anyway. Red Fox says $1 billion, that'd be good. Why? I don't think anybody's gonna pay you that, bro. AJ10, pound for pound, who has the hardest punch in boxing today? We'll get to that. Pound for pound, hardest punch. Man. I'm thinking. Okay. It's hard to say, man. Damn. AJ says I would take a dive against Wilder. I probably would. I would take a Victor Ortiz dive, right? I don't think I would have to take a dive, to be honest with you. Like, even if he hits me in the dome of the head, I honestly think it's going to hurt so much I'm going to go down. But so I honestly think I can hold my gloves up. I honestly believe he would hit the gloves so hard he'd knock me down. He'd lift me off my feet. I honestly think that. So regardless, I would go down. But anyway, Red Fox not taking on the boxer. I'm still thinking about the hardest punch pound for pound, by the way. But anyway, Red Fox not taking on the boxer in the boxing match, especially heavyweight one of that. You can throw the fight. You have to actually try. I already went through those questions. I'm going backwards. All right, Wilder needs better names on his resume. Take one for the team. You have DStyleBoxing on his resume. All right. What would you guys do if I was scheduled to fight Wilder and I popped dirty? You know? Would I get a pass? Like, yeah. DStyle, he got popped with like 7 PEDs on his way to fight Wilder. Like, I don't think anybody would care. Like, it'd be like, yeah, let him use whatever PEDs he wants. Anyway. Joyce versus Wilson tonight. Lewis said yesterday that he's going to beat the puppet, that's Joyce, to fight the puppet master. Hey. Oh, wow. Well, that's funny. Friday night, okay, it's 5:30 a.m. UK. Fair enough. So on the 20th, Friday night in the UK. Gotcha. Let's get the fight in El Paso, Texas. Sell out the UTEP Stadium. The Sun Bowl, it's called. Red Fox says, use weed. This has high blood pressure and asthma. About it. Exceptions. I'll fill out the form. I can't believe I asked how many rounds the fight's going to be. But anyway. Let's see here. If you get popped early, bro, they'd start calling you drug styles. Oh, that's what the D stands for, huh? I think I get a pass, though. I think they'll let me take whatever the fuck I want. Let's see here. Jermell Charlo, I think you can probably say is the best pound-for-pound puncher in the game. I'll go with Jermell Charlo. Great Drag says, do you think you can beat a minimum weight champion in boxing? Not right now. I mean, not right now. No. Yeah, these dudes are little, man, but right now, they hit me with a body shot. I'm going down. Let me tell you why I know this, okay? Well, maybe he wasn't minimum weight, but I did have a friend. That was a boxer, okay? And he boxed at flyweight, right? He was a very small dude. He was a small guy. But I saw him, like, beat the shit out of a dude once at a bar. So, and this dude was a lot bigger than him. All right, so don't think just because these guys are small. Like, they're small, but they're professional fighters, okay? You got to keep that in mind. Like, I know here, especially on YouTube, we all talk a lot of shit, and it is what it is. But it doesn't mean they're invincible just because they're fighters. So don't get me wrong, okay? But they're still very dangerous. Now, put them in a boxing ring where it's a controlled setting. I mean, it's, you know, these guys can hurt you, man. You know, so I don't even think I'd be able to hit a flyweight, like, right? I think they duck every punch I throw. The reflexes would just be too fast for me, right? So, I mean, I'd stand a much better shot than I would against Wilder, but yeah. Red Fox says those guys rain punches. Yeah. More likely the D-Style sparring videos or the full footage of McGregor versus Paulie. I would not release footage of me sparring like a what's it called? A minimum weight fighter. You know how embarrassing that would be? I'd be like a zombie, like walking around the ring getting popped in the face. Okay, but yeah, I'm far too old for sparring now, man. I'm 33 years old, right? So I used to do some boxing sparring about 10 years ago, but my days of sparring are over. Which, by the way, I mean, sometimes, you know, you'll be surprised, man. Some of these little dudes can fucking hit. You'll be surprised. I did a lot of. I did a lot more. I never did full contact in karate. I never did full contact. But I did do some karate tournaments. Okay, my teen years. Okay, they didn't teach me squat about real fighting, but it was still fun. Okay, it was basically point structured fighting. That's what it was. But it was fun. I will say that. It doesn't. It does not emulate a real fight, though. I will say that. And boxing, without a doubt, is far more aggressive, far more physical, even sparring than competition karate. Now, I never did full contact karate, but even then, it's very point structured. For those that don't know how it works, in karate tournaments, first of all, you have headgear, and you have like full body gear, like your whole body, and you even have like I forgot what they called them, but you could put them on your chins to protect them and stuff. So once in a while, I get hit with something that hurt, but overall, it never really hurt. Dudes are just throwing quick kicks, and we're just doing it, just trying to land a quick shot, and then they'll call a point, like definitely doesn't simulate a real fight whatsoever. Real fights I have been in never used karate, but it was still fun. It was fun. It was competitive. So, hey. AJ10, DStyleBoxing's Ali Setback, 4-rounder YouTube pay-per-view event. I know what Ali knows, man. For all I know, Ali's like training every day still. Like, I don't fucking know. Don't have to pay me, though. I know that. Grave Drag says, Ali's Setback, reporting. And by the way, not a fan of Setback myself. Not a fan of the questions he asked, like, at all. But, man, let me just say this, and I mean this. I really do. And this is a compliment. You can't hate on the hustle, man. He works hard, man. That dude, I mean, he's at the Garcia gym in Oxnard, and he's, back in LA, and he does multiple videos, and he just, he hustles. You can't take that away from the guy, man. He hustles. He really does. I wish he asked better questions. Okay, I do. But, you can't knock the guy's hustle. Grave Giant says at 6, apparently you have to hold back your punches in karate. Well, the problem is the following, right? In karate, you are taught to not, at least I was taught. I can't say there's different forms of karate, okay? In karate, you're taught to not put force in the fist until the point of impact. Okay, and the punches you're taught they're arm punches. Like there's you don't put a full body weight into it. So I learned that really quick. And I never sparred anybody serious. I sparred like local dudes here that were just getting a workout too. But I learned that very quick. Okay, and so I wouldn't say that you're holding them back, but they're arm punches, right? And then in karate tournaments, you're just trying to land them fast so you get the point. As long as you make contact, and that's it. You get a point in your favor. So the same with the kicks. That's why the kicks are quick. And that's just the problem, right? That's problematic. So you don't really have a fighting art. It's still competition and it's still fun or whatever. I enjoyed it, but it's not practical. Like it's kind of defeating the whole purpose of what you're actually doing. If the goal is to learn how to kick properly to defend yourself, having competitions where you're just trying to make some type of contact to get a point isn't exactly the right way to go. I should say. Let's see, Gorgua, do you do any training to keep fitness up? Well, I'm gonna be flat out honest. I haven't done any training of any kind the last 2 months. Okay, that's for one, right? Uh, okay, I have some personal reasons for that. Okay, I did gain fucking 7 pounds in the last 2 months, but I'm definitely planning to go back to the gym. Right, nothing's. I don't know if you could call it training, but back to the treadmill and some free weights and stuff like that, and that's it. I mean, that's it's um, my days of I don't know what classifies as training. I don't like using the word training because that can mean different things to different people. But working out, yeah, I'll start working out soon, for sure. Eldest setback is three peoples, bro. That's the secret. Identical triplets. So you're telling me if I would have to box Ali's setback, I would have to box three people at the same time, right? They'll really have to pay me then. But I'll put in the negotiation. The negotiation would be that Ali cannot throw a punch until he says Ali's setback reporting every time before he throws a punch. Right? So he can telegraph his punches. Great Dragon 666, karate knockout highlights are sick. Yeah, full contact karate, which is different, right? They were not going to put teenage kids in full contact karate. All right. Now, I just want to say one more thing. When I say I never use karate in a real fight, because really I didn't. Because real fights, they're very close quarters, and when somebody's grabbing you, I didn't learn anything effective in karate that could prepare you for that. Okay. But what it did teach me was discipline. It taught me discipline, and which you can learn from a lot of other things, right? Mental discipline and how to be respectful to others. Because I was a mess when I was a kid, right? So, and best of all, just overall, how to not back down to confrontation, but how to avoid confrontation, and there's a difference. Red Fox, tensing the hands upon impact. Yeah, there you go. That's one way to say it. Like a spring, have them a little relaxed, and as soon as the contact is made, tense. Yeah, the reason you do that is to throw the punch as fast as possible, but for there to be enough impact to get a point. At least that's the way we were taught, and you don't really realize it at the time, but you're not really learning how to fight. You're learning how to get points, and it's something that's simulating a fight. And there's just a bigger, it's just different. Setbacks girl looks like a younger version of Sly Stallone's mama. I don't know who Sly Stallone's mama is. AJ10, did BKB boxing die? I don't hear anything about it anymore. Fox replies, last I heard it was Rosado versus Curtis Stevens. Yeah, was it? Did that fight happen or not happen? Didn't Rosado knock out Vera or something like that? I never liked the concept of big knockout boxing. That's what BKB boxing stands for those that don't know. I never liked that concept. I was never a fan of it, right? I hated how when they were promoting it, maybe I'm protective of the sport, but when they were promoting no ropes, it was a good thing that there's no ropes, right? And I'm thinking about all the historic shit that has happened against the ropes. I mean, do I have to go over them? Tunney against the ropes, right? And Dempsey catches him with a vicious combination. Tunney goes down, the long count, okay? Lennox Lewis bounces off the ropes. Rockman catches him with a big shot, knocks him out, right? Arturo Gotti leaning against the ropes. Mickey Ward letting haymakers on him, right? I mean, we can go over A lot of stuff. The rope adult Muhammad Ali against George Foreman. Pacquiao against the ropes, okay, when Miguel Cotto's wailing on him. I mean, there's countless examples of how the ropes were used in boxing that made fights exciting. I think the give that the ropes have are part of boxing and what makes boxing exciting. And so the problem with boxing is not the ring, right? It's not. We don't have to change where the boxers fight, right? We just don't. But that's like, why not just make a smaller ring? Put them in a 16 by 16 ring. But anyway, I never liked the concept. And BKB, as I always said, it might increase the percentage of stoppages and knockouts, but you're never going to have a legendary fight. Like, you're never going to have a Corrales Castillo. Like, you're never going to have a Gotti Ward. You're never going to have a Barrera Morales. You're never going to have those caliber of fights. Okay? You're just not. You know? So there you go. Well, when you create the sport to where knockouts happen a lot faster, then that's how you miss out in you know, the big legendary fights. That's how you miss out. That shit is hard to master. I tried doing it and I noticed I slow myself down trying to tense my fist. Yeah, I got used to it, but it's still. Oh, look, it's a good way to throw a jab. I will say that. Okay, like if you're trying to make a quick contact, it's good for that, right? But if you want to knock somebody out, like, I don't know, that's the way you want to punch, right? Like if you know, like, I'm just saying. But if you do it right, you could do some damage. But it's a good improvement on punch technique, says Red Fox. Are you referring to tensing the fist, or are you referring to BKB boxing, Red Fox? Agent 10, BKB was more of a gimmick. I agree, man. It was more of a gimmick. I didn't take it serious, so it is what it is, man. You guys got any questions? Boxing questions? Tensing, yeah. Well, you just got to do it right, man. It's you got to do you have to do it right. It is my brother's birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday to him. D-Style brother. We could call him that. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, I'll be wrapping this up. Yeah, my brother's born, yeah. October 19th is his birthday. Miguel says happy birthday. There you go. He's my older brother, of course. Brother is a very casual boxing fan. Well, there you go, Red Fox. Happy belated birthday to you. What's the best chin in boxing today? Scrape Drank 666. And of course, Fox is saying thank you to all the Birthday wishes. Look. What is the best chin in boxing today? Wow. Oh, man. Who does have the best chin in boxing today? Yeah, it says Canelo. Well, what about Gennady Golovkin? Canelo hit Gennady with some big shots, man. And Gennady Golovkin ate him, man. Just saying. I mean, there is Golovkin. There are some guys, man. It's just it's hard to say, man. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. Stevens hit him. Lemieux hit him, and he ate those punches, man. And you think it's a tie between the two. I think Canelo, man. Canelo really, he's good at rolling shots, and so when guys are good defensively, it's hard to tell if they have a great chin or not. You know, which is a good thing, right? But you know what? The best chin in boxing is Amir Khan, right? Yeah, we know it's not Khan. That's true, Red Fox. Kirkland, man, what can you do? By the way, I never got to this. Yeah, man, he has steel chin. I never got to this, but I never bothered to look it up. But is it true? Like somebody in one of my last chats put that Canelo had in a contract that Kirkland couldn't be trained by Ann Wolf. Is that true? Like, is that really true? And like, I don't believe that, but is that true? Red Fox saw Canelo rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto. Jose Cotto did rock Canelo. Canelo was 19 years old, though, I believe. He was 20 or 19. But yeah. Gabe Drank 666. Never heard of that. I thought Kirkland and Wolf were having issues. I agree with that, but it's, people say shit, and you're like, is that even true? Yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? Gabe Drank heard about it, but not sure how true it is. Could imagine that was true. You guys are ready to wrap this up. I'll answer a few more questions. He says, I heard Canelo would only fight Kirkland if he could knock him out in 3. Okay. Gary Drank, wouldn't be surprised if Canelo's team had made that request. I would. To be honest with you, I'd be kind of like, what the hell, bro? I really would. Do I have any Red Hot Chili Pepper fans here? I ran into a picture here. I was always a big fan of him. Kirkland and probably effed and caught feelings. Wow. Well, there you go. That's how rumors start. Mejia says, I doubt it's true. People are reaching. Yeah. Talking, of course, the rumor that Canelo would not fight Kirkland unless Kirkland agreed not to be trained by Ann Wolf. That's a weird request. All right, guys, I am ready to wrap this up. I'll take about 2 more questions, and I'm out of here. For listening on archive, leave a question. I will address it in next week's QA. Here, Jank says it's Miera for Canelo. He can do whatever he wants. Red Fox, Canelo took years to fight him. Well, any questions, guys, before I wrap this up? I am tired. By the way, do we still have a bunch of Wilder and AJ fans going at it? Shit's crazy, man. All I know, Wilder and AJ have to fight each other soon. Because holy shit, this shit goes on and longer. Like everyone on YouTube is going to be hating each other, right? All because of the talks about these two guys, right? All I heard about for years when Klitschko was dominating, all I heard for years was, okay? All I heard for years was, oh man, I can't wait for Klitschko to retire so we could have, other heavyweights, bring back excitement, blah, 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 blah. And then now we're starting to get down. Now everybody's all hating each other and beefing with one another and tired of one another. And, dudes that were cool with one another all of a sudden can't get along, over this. It's insane. It's just insane. Like Maypack all over again. AJ Wilder. It's fucking insane. What can you do? Algab says, do a UFC Q&A, D-Style. Well, if you have a UFC question, ask the UFC question. It's open forum. What's your UFC question? I may or may not know the answer. I may or may not know what you're talking about, but I'll give it a shot. No UFC question. I mean, if I'm not going to do a video titled Q&A UFC questions, like this is I do one Q&A a week. All right, that's it. And after that, I'm Q&A'd out, and you got to wait a whole week, right? That's it. So it looks like we're done with boxing there, and we may or may not have a UFC question. We'll wait on that. We have any football fans here, right? By the way, for everybody giving me shit for using the word soccer, all right? Because I know like everybody, don't say soccer. Right, now, first of all, you need to understand, right? I am from the United States of America. We have a sport called football here, all right? Now, before you say, no, you don't use your feet. Well, you do use your feet. They use their feet to run, okay? But that's not why they call it football, all right? But listen to me, all right? I'm telling you, I gotta let you guys know because I'm gonna be doing some soccer videos and I'm gonna be calling it soccer. I'm not gonna say the pitch. I'm gonna say the field, okay? I'm not going to say the club. I'm going to say the team. All right? I'm from America. I'm not going to try and act like, and I'm not going to use verbiage that you guys use. I'm just not going to do it. There's nothing more annoying than seeing uh, MLS teams with FC in the name. It's annoying, right? FC stands for football club. We don't call it that here, right? Anyway, but I just want to say this really quick, guys. It's not that hard to do some research. I actually did it, by the way. Football, which was mob football, used to be a game where everything from kicking the ball to grabbing the ball, running with the ball, tackling each other, and stuff like that. That's why a lot of the terms are similar, by the way, right? And putting the ball into a goal by any means necessary was actually a thing in the British Empire, right? The British Empire, and if you look at it, right, expanded all over the world, right? Back then, there was no social media. Okay, there was no instruction guide given. Okay, so when certain parts of the British Empire, including England, evolved into what we call in America soccer, right? Your football became association football. That's why FIFA has association football in it. Canada and the U.S. evolved into what we call football, which is gridiron football. And in Australia, again, they're separated from the rest of the world. They evolved into Australian football, right? Rugby evolved into its own thing as well. Rugby football was another form of football. Now, rugby eventually, they also have a nickname for rugby called rugger, right? And if you do some quick research about this, the term soccer comes from England by somebody in Oxford. They took the sock out of association football and put the ER at the end. Soccer. They did it with rugby too. Rugger. But anyway, all right? So there you go. Stop giving me shit. Blame the British Empire for not getting shit in order and not having a manual on how to play the game right. Right? There you go. Anyway, some kept the tackling. Some did not. Some have tackling, but it's not really tackling. Some got rid of the kicking. Some changed the way you do field goals. Okay, so it's just they evolve differently, and that's it. That's all it is. All right. So you don't own the name football. It's association football. Middle finger. Anyway, so I'm going to be calling it soccer, whether you like it or not. Okay, and a very smart person from Oxford came up with the term soccer, right? So stop saying that dumb Americans made up the term. That's not true. Americans are not that creative, right? Anyway, let me go through this chat again. All right, Korkuka, who do you have? Hey, Belly 2 and AJ versus Takam. First of all, AJ's going to blow Takam out of there in under 4 rounds, no doubt in my mind. Hey, Belly 2, I believe Hay should win. Hay should win this fight. Okay? He should. I think Hay's going to take him serious this time and take him out. And Hay will be fed to AJ or some other heavyweight. Red Fox has value. All right. Well. Algam, are you and bro in birthday suits today? Celebrate Go Libra. Well, first of all, happy birthday to my bro. And we did celebrate the birthday. It's all good. Garuga. Oh, shit. My stream was 5 minutes behind. Red Fox says he's retiring and Belly beats him. Hay will retire, Belly beats him. Well, there you go. It might do all of us a favor. Libra's going in. All right. It's his birthday, too. Happy birthday to Algam. Algam says, McGregor Ferguson, can't wait for it. Well, it hasn't been signed yet. It's not really certain that fight will happen, bro. Mr. Doc, DStyle, going to start soccer football war on YouTube. I was just laying down like the historical context behind it. That's all. Elgin, you see Eddie Bravo give Ferguson his black belt today? I did not see that, but congratulations to Ferguson. Eddie Bravo's no joke to get your black belt from. That is for sure. One hell of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, Eddie Bravo, who doesn't do the gi. He doesn't do the gi. Doesn't think the gi is practical for training in MMA, and I agree with him. Okay, again, eating soccer is saying soccer is racist. Is like, really? That's weird. Makes most sense to call soccer football. Only player who can use hands is goalkeeper. Well, the thing is, they called it football when grabbing it and throwing it in the goal was legal. So, the same. Gorguga, other than when they have it thrown in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta plug in the charger. There we go. Yeah, rather call soccer football and football renamed to carry ball. Well, I did explain the history behind it and why it's called that. And 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 by the way, we do have a field goal, we do have a kickoff, we do, so just saying. And technically speaking, a quote unquote drop kick, which has not really been used once in like the last 30, 40 years or so, can be used to score a point. We just get 1 point out of it. So just saying. They do punt the ball as well. Red Foxes, we call it football here. And we call football American football. All right, Red Fox is going to be confusing a lot of Europeans. But let me break down what I believe Red Fox means, okay? They call soccer football there, right? Okay? Like association football, they call it football, right? And they call American gridiron football American football. There you go. Anyway, Elgin says, style, what are you describing has a name, and its name is rugby. Rugby was called rugby football for a long time, and eventually just shortened to rugby. That's all. Red Fox used to love playing rugby. All right? You don't disrespect football, says Elgin. It's called association football. Anyway, Gorguga, Tugby is rugby crossed with random tug of war. Right. He's just joking. Red Fox says, oh, okay. All right, guys. I said what I had to say. If you want to come back on archive, leave a question so I can answer it next week. Let me know. Every Thursday, Q&A, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This style will come on live, right, to do a live Q&A session. And hit the notifications button. Not only for that, just for other impromptu videos that I do throughout the week, right? All right? And I'm going to be rolling out, guys, right? I'm out of here. Shout out to Doc, by the way. I'm out of here. Peace.